The Elven Lands, a mystical region locked away behind Grandmaster quests. On paper, it looks like a no-brainer. Access to late-game gear and content without needing to do a Grandmaster quest? But in League 6, this might actually be one of the riskiest regions you can pick. Your progression is limited, your options are tight, and for a lot of players, this becomes a one-way ticket to the Red Prison. So the question is Tirannwn actually worth the risk? In this video, we're going to break down everything it has to offer. The content, the gear, and the tasks, to help you decide if this is a region you should take or avoid entirely. So let's look at the content you'll get with Tirannwn. In the early game, you have access to Prifddinas right off the rip, giving you a host of shops and skilling nodes to help with your progression into the mid to late game. Early content in the region includes the Hunter area with red chin chompers, the Death Altar for rune crafting, and the Earth dungeon with a whole range of mobs that will add to your Slayer task list. Moving to the mid game, and you'll find Crystal Implings in the region, which do hold some decent rewards, as well as the Elven Crystal Chest, and finally the Zalcano for a chance at those crystal tools. In the late game, you'll find a host of NPC elves that can be pickpocketed for thieving games and teleport seeds. The Prifddinas of Agility course, and then the notable PVM content for the area. Zulrah and all of its powerful drops, and then the Gauntlet and Corrupted Gauntlet, which has once again been confirmed to be the Echo boss for this region. Moving on to the gear for the region, and there are some iconic pieces of equipment that can be obtained in this area. Starting in the early game, and you'll be able to pick up the Crystal Tool Seed, the Elven Signet, Miss Battlestaff from Waterfiends in the Earth dungeon, the Leaf-Bladed Sword and Axe from Cuirass, the Dragon Halberd from the Halberd shop, the Dragonstone Armor from the Elven Crystal Chest, and finally the iconic 3 items from the Crystal Weapon Seed, the Crystal Bow, Crystal Shield, and Crystal Halberd. Looking at the gear in the later game, and you have the Dark Bow available from Dark Beasts, which can be a fun spec weapon if we see another special attack relic. Tirannwn is also the only region that gives you access to Divine Potions, as well as the ability to make Anti-Venom. Then there's the Zulrah uniques, the Toxic Blowpipe, Serpentine Helmet, and Trident of the Swamp, all extremely useful in their own rights as mid to end game equipment. But the real reason why anyone is looking to take this area, the uniques from the Corrupted Gauntlet, Crystal Armor, the Bofur, and Blade of Salador. Extremely accurate, hard-hitting gear that can really aid you in most content in the game. It's also been teased that we might be seeing the Crystal Blessing return, but with new powers. Previously, it allowed the bonuses from Crystal Armor to be applied to all melee weapons. This year, I'm thinking that we may see this in all styles, not just melee. Overall, the gear in Tirannwn is unlikely to outclass your raids region, but is a solid in-between if you can push through the grind of Corrupted Gauntlet. So clearly your content and gear options are a little bit limited in this region, but what are the tasks that you can expect like? Well, early on you'll see tasks like defeating general low-level mobs like Moss Giants and Water Fiends, woodcutting and mining tasks, hunter tasks, and interacting with various NPCs. Moving on to the harder tasks, and previously we've seen 150 Corrupted Gauntlet KC, including all combat achievements and obtaining and equipping the uniques, 300 Zulrah KC, including the combat achievements and also obtaining and equipping all uniques, as well as 100 Zalcano completions and equipping a crystal tool. Overall, the tasks in this region are definitely not the worst, but you do need to be prepared to commit a lot of time to the Corrupted Gauntlet, particularly the fact that there's prep time in every kill to be able to achieve all the uniques and the 150 KC. So what are my final thoughts on Tirannwn? Well, it has some solid gear, but it's easily outclassed by gear available in your other raids regions. Much of the end-game gear that is available, and the tasks that are in-game, are locked behind the long grind in the Corrupted Gauntlet. The region doesn't really provide you much in the early game, and your end-game PVM content options really are just the Corrupted Gauntlet or Zolrun. Personally, I think it's time that we see Kandarin and Tirannwn merge together to become one big region. Neither region really has enough endgame content to satisfy experienced Leagues players, and newer players are unlikely to want to submit themselves to the grind of the Red Prison for gear that's not even best in slot. We obviously still have a few relics to come, and the release of what the demonic packs look like may completely change how this region performs. But currently, it really does feel like the weakest region in the entire league, and I'd stay away from it unless you are a hardcore Corrupted Gauntlet enthusiast. So, let me know what you think. Is Tirannwn worth the risk of countless Corrupted Gauntlet kills for you? Are you planning on taking this region? Do you think if Kandarin and Tirannwn were merged, it would make them more viable? If you haven't already seen our other region reviews, check them out in the description below.